the life force of your bond. A power like life itself, unseen for generations. A dyad in the force.
Bum, bum, bum.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Dyad in the Force, episode 157, getting high up there. We are going hard with the music right now.
Oh, this music gives me stank face, man.
So, yeah, episode 157 of Dyad in the Force. We've got people in TikTok. We've got people in YouTube. Shout out to NP Bullrun27, Cal4 on both sides, Logan Singleton on TikTok, Diablo Americano, Lauren, hello mate, Charles Olson. Welcome to Dyad in the Force. This song is making me feel like I can fight someone hard. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Choco? This song went so hard you went to the corner of your camera.
Yeah, it happens from time to time. What's going on is, just making sure I was going to be live on my TikTok as well. I've been planning to stream more video games on it, and then I haven't. So I need to make sure I'm streaming on it so they don't take it away.
Yeah, I wanted to do more streams of like New World or possibly when does Dragon's Dogma 2 come out?
It comes out in March.
Yeah.
So
we should stream some Dragon's Dogma 2 together.
It's got me real excited.
I mean, listen, it's so weird. Like the moment that I switch it up in New World to bow and greatsword, you show me this clip from Dogma 2 that's like bow and greatsword. I'm like, I don't know if this has been a thing, but someone is listening or watching me play.
But I got like that scene where he switches back to the bow and then jumps off of the beast to get more distance and then like starts firing back. I was like, yeah, no, that goes hard.
It's hype, man. So shout out to Pretzel Rocks. This is the Apex Legends playlist. So, I mean, if you're gonna FPS, you're gonna FPS to this music, I guess. Let's see here. So before we went live on this episode, we had a question about Han, and I just wanted to elaborate further on that question. By the way, this whole episode is dedicated to the community right now, so if you have any questions, anything at all about Star Wars, go ahead and feel free to answer them, to ask those questions. We are here for the next hour and a half to answer your questions or talk about anything you guys want to talk about. And we'll be strictly driven by you guys in the chat so far.
Yeah.
But just to kind of elaborate further on Han, I think, you know, as I was saying, there are people in the galaxy that exist in and around the wars, like the Clone Wars, for example, and are furthest from it. So Han is, you know, he's kind of in his teens and he's working like he's a gut rat for the Den of the White Worms, Lady Proxima, and he's boosting and lifting speeders and you know, running schemes, and he could be the furthest thing from the Clone Wars. But even then, he would probably see like just clone troopers just walking by, because I don't think any battles happened on Corellia. No,
and I mean, I think all they did, all that happened is manufacturing ramped up. You know, that's it. And I go back to the same thing each time this comes up. There's literally people in this country, in the United States, that don't believe that COVID happened. And so, like,
yeah, that's true.
Of course, there are people who are not going to believe in the Force. You know, like even if you see and meet Jedi aren't like, they're taught not to use the Force frivolously, right? They're not just juggling items for people all the time and all this stuff. Yeah,
They're not street performers. Yeah.
Like, if you saw them, then you probably have PTSD and you don't remember because of that.
Yeah. I mean, case in point, the Martez sisters had a run-in with Liminara, and that's because they were on Coruscant, really, and that's where they operated out of. But aside from that, like, I don't even think they even had an outpost on Corellia. They concentrated their outposts in the Outer Rim. And for the inner rim, or the core worlds, it was just operating out of Coruscant. So
Yeah.
Han doesn't really
thanks,
have
Addison.
Han doesn't really have any experience with the Force, and much like anybody else in the similar situation, the Jedi are just mythos, and the Republic controlled all of the information about the Sith. So that's the answer to that.
As well as immediately after the Clone Wars, it was illegal to talk about the Jedi or possess anything Jedi related.
This is true. Lothal Youngling says, deploy the likes, y'all. Absolutely. Like this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, on YouTube side at least, That way you can keep up with all of the latest happenings in the Dyad and the Force, as well as with us, your Dyad. Hi, I'm Element.
Your Dyad?
Let's see here. Wait, they made it illegal to talk about the Jedi? Yes, absolutely. They did have Inquisitors.
Yeah.
That it was illegal to be a Jedi. It was illegal to be a Force user.
Sorry, it just makes me think of the X-Men movie when he's like, the parents are like, have you thought about not being a mutant?
Shout out to Kenny in the chat. Hello there, General Kenobi.
Inquisitor Akula says in the chat, I hesitate to even say it.
Go for it.
It feels like a loaded question. But he asks, why do right-wingers even like Star Wars?
Well, there's a bit of fascism in there, so. Right? I can't answer that question as a non-right-winger, so I can't really say. Maybe if there's anybody in the chat that has experience or is in that in that group, can let us know how Star Wars, plays for you in your minds. But I imagine there are some sympathists, some Palpatine sympathizers out there. What do you think, Choco?
Well, I mean, first, at least when I think about it, when I say right-wingers, I don't mean anyone who's right of center, but there's a lot of people, like, the right is moving further right, and it's weird. I think it is, what was the movie that just came out? Rebel Moon?
Yeah.
I think in my head that's how they watch movies, is that movie where it's a collection of big scenes and nothing connecting them. And so if you watch Star Wars without the story and you just see like fight, ships crashing, war, explosion, then like I think that might work. And I think that's why those would still, but it's weird. Like George Lucas is like a leftist Buddhist.
He was a hippie.
Yeah.
So the Empire did not have freedom of speech. No, they didn't. They really didn't.
Oh my God, no!
If you were,
people would disappear all the time. Like, you could if you badmouth the Empire or the Emperor, uh, yeah, bad things would happen.
Like, we literally see people just on the streets of like of Coruscant get thrown into jail for being like, for kind of questioning the Senate. Really.
What do you think happened to Ezra's parents?
Mm-hmm. They didn't have very much freedom. They had order. That's all that Palpatine touted was order and security.
Well, but that's the point. Is he wanted to rule the galaxy through fear, and that's how you accomplish it.
But just like what Anakin said in Revenge of the Sith, it was peace, freedom, security to my new empire, but not to the people. The Empire enjoyed a lot of freedom. They enjoyed a lot of peace, a lot of security, and a lot of order. But
the Empire is thriving. Oh, the people in it? No, they were all dying, and you could all be wiped out at any point in time. But it's funny though, because that's one of the things I really, I think I'm trying to remember if I mentioned it on the show last week. But like when it comes to the Jedi and like the kind of balance, because the Jedi have, what we call the Superman problem, where the thing it would take, Superman could eradicate all crime on the planet. He would just have to become a dictator and kill everyone who crosses those lines. And he could do that successfully, And that's exactly where the Jedi are at. And I feel like they get a lot of flack because bad things still exist in the galaxy. And people are like, see, the Jedi failed because they didn't stop those things. Not realizing how much political power or sway they would have to hold over the entire galaxy to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like to point out that the Jedi destroyed a slave empire. But it's okay, they're still evil because they won't free the slaves on Tatooine. It's like, how much political power are you going to have to usurp to make these unilateral decisions across the Outer Rim? Because taking down an empire of slavers is one thing, because, oh my gosh, like, holy crap, it's like this entire big machine. But some backwater planets here and there that have their own kind of rules and kind of their own way of doing things, it's like, you really have to assert yourself.
You have to figure out what the line is and where it is, And so this is something I know I'm going to get flack for, right? But part of season 7 of Clone Wars, Ahsoka highly irritated me because she was telling Obi-Wan and Anakin, like, no, we need to go to Mandalore, and they're like, we haven't finished the war we're in. Like, are we gonna start another one? Like, they're an independent system that has had treaties and things standing over 100 years saying we cannot interfere. And you're like, yeah, but Maul's a bad guy, but he also was elected like by their own methods. I don't know. I'm saying there's a lot of gray in what you can and should do.
Yeah. Lauren asks, do you guys still go live on YouTube? We are live on YouTube right now. We're simulcasting and everything.
Also, Lauren, hello.
Also, hello to Kenny. Kenny says, raised as one, unfortunately. I suppose right wing, as he's trying to say. They really do think that they are the rebels in this fandom and in the franchise. Yeah, I don't know how you could see it that way, I suppose because the very foundation of Republican is big, like, small government, but
that's the foundation, but that's not what anyone is asking for now.
Yeah, it's small government when it comes to money, big government when it comes to personal freedoms. But like I suppose that does kind of like see like it's because they see the other side as the big government, right? So they would see them as the empire. But it just like ideologically speaking, it doesn't bear any kind of correlation.
Well, I also can say that they do feel like being forced to be tolerant of other people is oppression.
What?
I don't know how to put it so it doesn't sound stupid, but it's true.
Don't clip that.
I don't know how else to say it, but it is true. You know, you're like, well, my personal beliefs is that they should burn in hell. Aren't I free to believe that? And you're like, oh, believe it, but don't condemn them and attack them. You know, I don't know.
I mean, you know, we're skirting dangerously close to thought crimes
Right?
at this point, but I will say that what Voltaire said. I completely disagree with what you have to say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it.
Nedrick says, "What's the topic today?" I'm just happy you joined right then. You don't need to go back. That's cool.
Hello, Rise Blue Sun. Been watching you guys for a while now and love the content. I appreciate it. I'm sure Choco does too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot going through my mind. Sorry about that.
Biden is Palpatine? Now that's a funny thought. They look similar and are about the same age. Yeah, but Palpatine like also speaks like Trump. So it's like you kind of have Palpatine in both. And
I mean, Palpatine is Bill Belichick. I don't know.
just to be clear, we are not going to veer into politics here, guys. Everyone has their own thoughts and opinions and such in terms of you know, political leaning. I myself am for no party, but we're not going to talk about, you know, the election all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's not gonna be this. Hey, Andrew, nice to see you. Yeah.
Let's see here. I want to know more on what Thrawn knows in the unknown regions, says Saito Kitamura. I had to say that.
What's up, Chosen Pumpkin? How you doing? What is about what he knows about the unknown regions specifically? I mean, man,
as much as the Ascendancy does.
Yeah, and it kind of kills me because in order to have Thrawn in Star Wars, that's why they had to use another universe, right? But like, if they chose anyone else, they could have them trapped in the unknown regions, and then we would get the Ascendancy, and it makes me sad that I won't get that.
Yeah, but
it is what it is.
Trump isn't smart enough to be Palpatine. That's all I'll say. I mean, true, but he's brazen enough. Laura says it's one thing to be free to believe something.
Like Newt Gunray.
It's one thing to be free to believe something, and another to use that to infringe on other freedoms. Which, yeah, that's so.
Yes.
Going back to like what you mentioned about the vaccine thing, is like I see a lot of people talk about, you know, Patrick Bet David.
Tom Brady is Anakin. Then that works.
Talking about the vaccine for the the vaccine for COVID, and they were like, all I want is the freedom to choose. And all I can think of is like, you do have that freedom, but you definitely don't have the freedom to contaminate everyone else. So you're free to not get vaccinated. You're also free to stay in your house and not interact with anybody. Right. And And their response was like, well, listen, like smoking kills, right? I have a freedom to smoke. It's like, you can't smoke in their private establishments. It's literally the same thing. You can choose to smoke or not smoke, but you can't come into this restaurant. So it's like, no one is.
By the way, both Pep and I are old enough that we lived when smoking was legal inside of establishments, and it was terrible.
I'm even old enough to have smoked in a Denny's. I'm that old. But like, yeah, like it's the same thing. You can choose it. You can choose the vaccine or not, but you're not going to come into the workplace. You're not going to come into the theater and contaminate people. That's just it. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's kind of funny how a lot of people view their freedoms, and they don't want any consequence from it, from their choices.
Yeah. I just yeah, I don't want to talk about him. Never mind.
How's it going, 8-Bit Hero? Gentle dudes. Be excellent to each other. All right, sorry. No, that wasn't Keanu. Be excellent to each other. No.
That was better.
Hi. I'm trying to find it. Hi. I'm John Wick, and be excellent to each other. Don't kill my dog.
Somehow you just reminded me of Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character in Dragon Age.
Yeah, the character in Dragon Age. Oh
yeah,
man,
Dragon Age Inquisition. You played the game.
I forget that Freddie Prinze Jr. was in it. Okay, so hold on. Texas says, so if I remember correct, the unknown region is hard to travel because there are no hyperspace lanes. Like finding safe routes is near impossible. Am I thinking correct? It's just Uncharted. The prospecting never went that far. There's no lanes. I mean, it's not really hard to travel in. Like, you could literally sublight around the unknown regions, but you wouldn't really know where you're going. And then you for sure wouldn't be able to jump to hyperspace because you don't have any lanes. You would just literally be risking colliding into a celestial body.
Yeah, I mean, Yandurus just says, just follow the Purgle, but if they got him out there. I really like that about the unknown regions, though, how that was their setback, and how, you know, technology and everything had to grow differently because of, you know, it's like being, if this society grew up in a rocky region versus a sandy one, like, you would have different technology, and how they use people who were force sensitive to navigate through hyperspace more efficiently. Just really cool.
Yeah.
Acula says, are there any events you guys are going to this summer?
This summer? It depends, really. I don't, I think most of my money is spoken for. And it's something called Japan. So I'm not really planning on too much. We do have an event in May with the community that we're super excited for. Just to kind of fill the gap, fill the void left behind by no celebration. But it's going to be amazing to meet a lot of great people. Lauren, you should come down if you're around. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in the summer.
Hopefully, Anime Expo. You know, I do want to go to that if it occurs. And Comic-Con, I don't know if I'll be able to get in because I don't know. Maybe I was getting too big for my Choco britches, but like after getting invited last time, I normally go in because I volunteered there for many years. And so like I didn't join to volunteer this year, hoping that I would get some type of in to go.
We could use Dyad. Media passes.
Yeah, so we'll try. We'll try to do Comic-Con. I want to do more cons in general.
Yeah. Local cons for those, just because it saves a lot more money. But
Yeah.
let's see here. 8-Bit Hero says, I just want to say I appreciate you both. Thank you for being positive voices in this corner of Star Wars TikTok. I appreciate you, 8-Bit Hero, and thank you for the sentiment and the support.
Master James Kenobi. How you doing, lads? We're doing fantastic.
Let's see here. Justin McDaniel says, I was in the womb and my mama was smoking. Yeah, I mean, that's how liberal it was back then.
Once upon a time, like, athletes would smoke because they were told that the smoke expands your lungs and it makes you breathe better. So they would smoke right before things. I don't know, I just think that's funny.
You know what's strange? It's strange to think that those kinds of freedoms were very liberal. But it was the Liberal Party that kind of banned smoking in public establishments and did all of those kinds of restrictions. It's kind of weird. Like the two uses of the word liberal, like we were very liberal back then. We could do whatever we wanted. We could smoke anywhere, and then well, of course now we had new information, right? Just killing people.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, that you saying that just reminded me. What's up, Johnsky? Reminded me of a book I was reading recently, and we were talking about this massive company that. I mean, the place where their factory was is still uninhabitable, but they were mining mercury, and no one knew how bad it was. So, like, parents would bring home mercury for their kids to play with and stuff. And yeah, they just didn't know. And so these people were super upset that all these people were rallying to shut down their facility or to add restrictions because they thought, no, they're just it's about freedom and stuff. And then like everyone was dying and there was birth defects and stuff. And you're like, oh, never mind. Good point.
Bullrun27 asks, how many reference books do you guys have? Because I got a lot.
Yes.
Can we count?
The answer is yes.
I'm gonna try to count.
I can count my physical ones, but if we go digital, no, I can't count that.
That's true. I have all of the novelizations, the canon ones anyway. And that's already like 9-ish. I have visual dictionaries. I have the Star Wars book, the Secrets books, timelines, everything you need to know, character encyclopedias. It's in the upper 100s. To be honest, digital and physical. And
Jimmy,
yeah, can I show
on
you
the schedule? We're just hanging out.
Can I show you guys on Discord? Absolutely. If you wanna post it in the public Discord, go ahead. But yeah, we have a lot of like reference. Like we even have like the Forces and Destiny books, even though we don't play the RPG. There's a lot out there.
I even have the original RPG books from back in, yeah, lots and lots and lots. Skills asks, would y'all like to see and learn more of the Mandalorian culture? Yes. Absolutely. 1000% yes. So underserved, so underutilized. My fan fiction of the New Jedi Order, which I called Echoes of the Past, was literally bringing the Mandalorians back into the fray. But yeah, we need more lore about Mandalorians, especially canon lore, and they've largely been served rather poorly in terms of like the sequels. Where are they? But we are getting those stories with Dave Filoni, so we'll see. And that's why, and not to go off on this kind of rant again, but that's why I think I want to do a thing where we stay away from all cameos and stuff like that. If they did another Clone Wars style show, that takes place entirely in Mandalorian space, I would be very into that. I don't want to see any Jedi. I don't want to see Obi-Wan pop up. You know, just make me follow some random Mandalorian who was around with whatever happened that made Duchess Satine take over and say we need to change things.
Yeah.
You know, just give me that as a separate show, separate from anything, and we could build something else.
Let's see here. I also have 100 Objects of Star Wars. Me too. I've got the Timelines book. Me too. I have 12 reference books, but I have more. Well, the 12 is literally the number of visual dictionaries and art books that I have. We're not including encyclopedias.
I forgot about that. I have the art of all of them.
Yeah. We have
I have the visual dictionaries of all of them.
I have Sabine's journal. I have there's a lot of like small little tidbits, interesting facts, the Ultimate Star Wars Encyclopedia, character encyclopedias for the High Republic, for Star Wars in general. There's lots. He's got the big red coffee table book. There's a lot. And
and now I can show you that I'm such a menace that I got this. Also got the smaller version of the big red book.
Wow.
Because it's too big. It was just too big. I can't. It's fantastic to look at for the art and stuff, but like.
Yeah, like I said, it's a coffee table book. Like it's great to have it there, but like when you want to reference something, that small book is good.
Can't have two people to turn pages. You know what I mean? Like,
do either of you have costume reference books?
No. I mean, I suppose some things could be used as references, but
the character encyclopedia books, the character art of High Republic, I do have, but I don't know if they're explicitly called costume reference books. But Dressing the Galaxy, okay, I'm gonna pick that up.
I remember the Mandalorian Wars in comics when I was a kid reading the old Legends KOTOR. Yeah, so there was a lot of cool stuff. I miss that. I miss that Lucasfilm took more risks back in the day. I felt like they swung for the fences a lot more often. I mean, I don't think the fandom can handle it currently, sadly. Where if something comes out that they don't like, it's the end of the world, you know? But back in the day, they would just toss spaghetti out at the wall, and that's how we got Manjulpa and there's all this weird stuff. You really enjoy Zane Carrick? How do you not? I feel bad that Kay Stanzy's not around, but
he enjoys them for sure.
Zane Carrick is the worst. He's the best at being the worst, making him the best.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I really want that book. They also have a book dissecting the real world politics within Star Wars. That book be expensive. You want the Dressing the Galaxy book? Wink, wink. You want it?
Do I want it? Yeah,
no,
I do want it.
No, not you. I was referencing Young. Okay. We'll see what happens in May. Suzanne says, I used to run with someone who smoked before every run, quote, because it opened up her lungs. Part of that is true. I mean, but it's mostly coming from the nicotine stimulus, not the tar. It's not coming from the cancer stick. It's coming from the stimulant, but you know.
Yeah. Jimmy says, back in the day, it was like Wild Wild West of Star Wars publishing for sure. I swear I need to track it down, but the little bug, the giant bug thing with mouths on its chest that secrete an oil that when you ingest it makes you younger is the weirdest idea I've ever heard of in anything. But it was a thing that happened, and like this old Imperial officer would come and make out with the chest of this giant bug creature. That's a thing that made it.
Shout out to Mandalorian. We talking Mandalorians, fun times. Not specifically, but if you have something you want to talk about, this episode is completely dedicated to the chat. So if you want to bring something up from the Mandalorians, legends or canon, go right ahead. Just don't bring up Cantankerous Ordo. Just kidding.
Here's what we need. We need an anthology show that's done similar to Clone Wars. However, it'll do 3-episode arcs, and it tells the history of the Mandalorian people, basically just the cliff notes of what happened in their culture throughout the past 300 years, something like that.
I want a Star Wars sitcom.
That'd be sick too.
Like, no, it doesn't have to be anything like about like important or iconic characters, but I would love to see how normal people like live, go to work, and just handle everyday like hardships and struggles in the galaxy. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, there's no like narrative consequence to it, so they can go on forever and just be like reference it here and there. Like, so if it takes place 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, and like new Jedi Order comes out, and like episode 10 of this sitcom is just like, yo, I heard like the Jedi are coming back. It's just one of those things, you know. Isn't from a certain point of view kind of like that? Yeah, but I want to see kind of like an Office style approach to Star Wars, or a Star Wars with the approach to akin to The Office, just something different.
I mean, so that is something I want, but I still want that set in the Empire. Like, if you could give me a Tag and Bink show and give me the same dynamic as JD and Turk on Scrubs, that would just be the greatest thing ever.
How did you start vaping, Elements? I was a long-time smoker. Like I said, I'm old enough to have smoked in a Denny's, when it was legal to smoke in places. So, long time. And I think about 11, 12 years now. How old am I then? I'm 38. So like Kylo on Undercover Boss, Young says, yeah, sort of like that. Just kind of a slice of... Oh, Duxon says it, slice of life Star Wars. Yeah. Something inconsequential in the galaxy, man.
I mean, okay. Underrated show that got canceled way too soon. Powerless. That too, but... Also starring Alan Tudyk. Powerless was a show that took place in the DC universe, and it was just regular people working in an office, and they like made products and stuff for like, you know. And every now and then there'd be like superheroes would be battling outside the window, and they're like afraid they're gonna fly through the window and destroy their building, and like it was just about them. You know, that show. I mean, we had Alan Tudyk in it. You had Danny Pudi in it. You had Vanessa Hudgens in it. You had Ron Funches in it. I love Ron Funches. Canceled too soon. Adam West was in it. Shoot.
Here's a comment for you, Choco. I thought you were only like 27.
Why is that for me?
Because I'm pretty sure you can explain it. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. So you see, blacks don't crack and Asians don't raisin. So between the both of us, we are eternal.
Yes, we are
forever
eternal.
Young. I want to be.
For real, you don't need to, Pep. I can fund my own book habit myself. Thank you. Well, of course, I don't need to. It's never a question of need. It's a question of want. So, I felt like that was supposed to come out as Yoda, but it also had like a tinge of a Scottish accent somewhere in there. It's not a question of need. It's a question of want. More than anything, I want some chicken nuggets.
I wish more than anything, more than life.
Go for it. I'll stop
I wish
this.
to go to the festival.
I'll give you some.
Put it back on. You can put it back on.
I'll give you some bard music.
I will leave.
Here.
Oh, you
hold
want
on.
to show off some bard skills? Shall we load up Lost World?
I can't load up New World with all of the things that I have happening right now. Oh, I thought I was gonna get like a bardic tale. Hold on, let me see. Nope, this is cinematic.
This is like the interlude montage of hobbits like journeying from one place to another.
When we were old, we still looked young. Someone said I looked like I was 27. Justin McDaniel said, until you hit like 55, then you turn 89. That's so true for Asians. It's like we'll look young until around 60, and then we shrink, hunch, and go. That's what we do.
Yeah, but I'm still jealous because you can just grow a Fu Manchu and you're chilling, you know?
Let's see here. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Element, awesome. Where was the Middle Earth reference?
Oh, I said that the song sounded like a bunch of hobbits journeying, like in a little montage.
All right, it's your turn. Freestyle something to this. Just a verse.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not in the mind space.
I'll read the I'll read the comments. I'll read the comments. Ready? I like say this original Felucia was going to be in the sequel trilogy.
What?
Okay, hear me out. Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk are Imperial droids just trying to not get crushed by Vader or pushed in a trash compactor. About how Asians age. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, favorite Lord of the Rings fact that nobody knows, only hardcore fans know.
That what's his name broke his foot and he kicked a rock. Ha.
Oh, hey, yeah. That's a good BTS fact. That only hardcore fans know. I don't know what hardcore fans don't know. That's the problem with that. Did you know that Galadriel is more powerful than Gandalf?
No. She's a girl.
No. Hey boys, that just hopped on. What did I miss? Not much. I mean, really, this has been a very low effort episode so far. We're just having fun, hanging out with chat, just chilling right now. You know, it's a very community-driven, chat-driven episode. We're just talking about whatever the chat wants to talk about.
I mean, I shared a Lord of the Rings fact. He said it was a good BTS fact, and now my brain is only thinking about Korean dramas. My wife is just watching this one where, you know, it's one of the things where the people like died, but they wake up and find themselves back in their original bodies like years earlier. And two people went back, but they didn't know until they had a conversation on a roof, and they were talking about BTS. and they both mentioned songs that hadn't come out yet. And then we're like, huh? And then the episode ended. So that's all I can think about now.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works.
Logan on TikTok says, so you were only like 14 when TPM came out, the same age Padme was in the movie? Yeah, and I really had a strong crush on Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna ask her out. Like, that's how delusional I was. It's like, as soon as I see her on the street.
Hey, 716th Attack Legion, thank you. I love the hat too. But at Comic-Con.
Oh, speaking of your hat, Justin McDaniel says, let's talk about Choco's hat and how awesome it is. 10-minute segment. Let's go. I'll be right back.
I like the colors.
I like turtles.
I've been trying to get my my hat game back going. So now the collection is rebuilding. I used to have a lot more hats, but most of them I made. And then I did something with Lucasfilm, and they're like, you can't wear that. They're like, I can't wear my unofficial Vader hat? Okay, that makes sense.
So, non sequitur. When you said I was trying to get my hat game back going, that syntax was like, had the same energy as peel my muffin cap back blue. I was like, hat back, getting back going. Who didn't have a crush on Natalie Portman? True. Bro, Natalie Portman is a heartthrob for us late 80s, early 90s peeps. Exactly. I was a Portman fan before Star Wars, even did a Portman fan site in the mid 90s. Fan, not a creeper. I mean, listen, I had a crush on her in The Professional. You muted yourself. Or something. I don't know. I can't hear you. I don't have a crush though. That makes me great. Sorry, more of a Rey crush though. Hey, you know, Daisy Ridley is a looker, you know.
Indeed.
I have a crush on Daisy Ridley. I have a crush on Amelia
Don't
Clark.
say it. Bix is mine.
No, I have a crush on Bix too.
Nope. Only me.
You don't even know the actress's name.
What? Of course I do.
Don't look it up. What's their name? Don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up.
So why aren't you answering?
Because I'm thinking it. It's not on the tip of my tongue.
Of course I know.
It's Audrey Arjona.
Okay. Now I'm trying to think of who should play Domina. Whom I also have a crush on.
Is it weird that she was at both of the premieres that I went to?
Not at all. Wait, she was in Morbius.
Yeah. She was his love interest. She was the other doctor.
What was the other premiere?
Andor.
Oh. How would you guys like to hear my fan fiction and tell me why it doesn't work? I want to make it fit within canon, but I'm not an expert on current canon exactly. Yeah, leave it in the chat. We'll try our best. Young says she's mine, Choco.
You wish.
Junkman says my friend had a crush on Alf. I never understood that. Wait, Alf the like.
I mean, there's a sound going around of people asking for unconventional crushes. I think Alf is a good pick for that.
Unconventional crushes. Let's do this. Everyone in the chat. Unconventional crushes.
Hey, thanks, Otaku.
Jackson says, Quai Daddy hot, Obi It's Space Jesus hot, Leia Bombshell, Padme Wowzers, clones, yup, all of them but 99. Why? Just include 99. They're all clones. Hey, I have a Brie Larson and Greta. I don't really have crushes. I can go on and on about mine, so... Greta Thunberg or Greta Gerwig?
Or Greta as in Hansel and...
Gretel.
Jimmy asks, what do you mean by unconventional? You know what we mean. Like, don't say...
I mean, whatever you think is unconventional,
you know?
really. But then again, Young says my unconventional crush is Ben Mendelsohn, which I don't think is unconventional at all. So, maybe we don't leave it in their hands.
All right. Unconventional, but fictional. All right, fictional character.
Only fictional character, right?
Yes.
Unconventional.
Now, I've met a lot of women who had a thing for Shrek. I think that's a popular one and unconventional.
I have to dig down deep into the archives of animated stuff now. And I'm not going to go into anime because that's not unconventional. I'm going to say it. No, that's not unconventional. Do you think the kid's mom from Big Hero 6 is unconventional?
No, I wouldn't say so, but Jimmy says the green skinned alien woman from Star Trek, maybe. But you'll need to be more specific. I don't know what who exactly that is.
That's his aunt? Do you think I was paying attention? I'm just kidding. Let's see. Logan said my favorite Jedi is Ponkrell and my favorite Sith is Snoke. My actual favorite Jedi is Obi-Wan and my actual favorite Sith is Vader. Gotcha. This is a tougher question than I had anticipated.
I mean, there's not really pictures of her, but Saba 17. I mean,
don't you only have a fan art of it?
Yeah, there's pictures don't exist. She was a big lizard lady. She had charisma.
I'm trying really hard to think of unconventional stuff. At least unconventional to me. I don't really know.
Jimmy says, I forget their race name. Chris Pine as Kirk was making out with one in the '09 Star Trek.
You have a crush on Jane Hathaway? I mean, is that unconventional? Or are you just listing crushes? Because Cyanary is not unconventional. I guess you're just listing people. No, Cyanary is not an unconventional crush.
Yeah, no, I guess we basic, you know? Guess we basic.
You know, I mean, it's like my
well, I mean, we both had a shared experience of agreeing over Yaddle.
Yeah, that's true. See, my mind keeps on going back to Star Wars, but at the same time, Star Wars doesn't really do a good job of unconventional alien. It's just humans with tendrils somewhere.
I mean, I was curious about Six Boob Lady and Return of the Jedi.
Curious, huh? I have a crush on Geode. Don't do that.
Fair.
Don't do that though. You don't want a crush on Geode. Get it? You want to keep Geode intact.
Jimmy says, wait, I got it. Venus from TMNT, The Next Mutation. Venus is a lady turtle.
What are you doing down there?
I'm scratching my ankle.
Daxton says, "Bro, you know Sebulba got smooth-handed feet. Let's not go there. Let's not take it in that direction."
You know, I was thinking about. I've said it before. I was thinking about revamping, like High Ground and coming back with it, but with a new name and maybe Sebulba Feet Pics. Maybe that's the name. What do you think? What do you guys think?
That certainly would give you the low ground.
I feel like.
Oh my gosh!
My camera is
Did you just say
slowly
Elizabeth
shifting.
Bray? That's not unconventional. Come on, Destiny fan.
Oh, I didn't even. I didn't even make that connection. Shoot.
It's tough, man. I really don't know. Like, if I name aliens in Star Wars, again, it's just humanoids with tendrils.
Everyone in Baldur's Gate.
Hey, you know what? Humanoid but horns. So it's kind of like this is gonna kill me for the rest of the show. Is what is an unconventional crush? Junkman says I got a crush on Darth Choco.
Hey, there's nothing unconventional. Is that an insult and a compliment rolled together? Like, goddamn, man.
That is a conventional crush, my friend. Then say Dianoga or something? No, because I don't have an unconventional crush on a Dianoga. It's got to be a real crush in a real unconventional thing. So, I mean, let's see.
In the Legends book trilogy of, what was it, Paradise Snare, like the Han Solo trilogy, he was raised by a very warm and tenderly loving Wookiee lady.
Hmm.
Yes, Julana. Jimmy's on top of it. Jimmy knows. Jimmy knows.
I might have to venture into anime on this.
Jimmy, I appreciate you.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's unconventional, but people question it. I have a crush on what's her face from Andor, Deidre.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, ocularly, not unconventional, but, like, she's a fascist.
I mean, crushes are purely, instinctual.
Yeah, no. That's fair.
That's because she'd step on you and you'd thank her? Probably. Same with Ben Mendelsohn, I guess, right, Young? Did you ever give your unconventional crush?
Me? Or Young?
Yours.
I said a couple. I had Saba 17, and I said Yaddle, and
Oh gosh, Yaddle. I thought in the beginning you were saying Maz Kanata. But Yaddle specifically with the hair in
Sav
Tales of the
Maligan?
Jedi. Seth isn't really unconventional to me. Would any of you guys crush on me? I don't know. All right, press F in the chat if you crush on either of us.
No. Why?
Because
if into the archives you look.
Your weapons, you will not need them. There you go, Bull Run, Justin. We got some crushers on here. Double fit everyone. What does that mean? Jackson says, I can't help it. I'm Pan. I could crush on a toaster if it had a good enough come online. Listen.
Okay. All right. Now, y'all remember Brave Little Toaster?
Don't. Junkman says, not gonna lie, for an old lady, Kathleen Kennedy ain't bad, and she's rich. I don't know if I could do Kathleen Kennedy, dude. I crush on futons from Genshin Impact. Like literal futons, or is there a character that that came out I missed? The lighting on Choco is outstanding. He's a whole man. Dang. Dang, he called you a whole ass man, dude.
Jesus.
Justin, is that dead ass? No cap? No, that's autocorrect? Okay, so it's not futon. Oh, I can probably guess you with an autocorrect like futon, do you crush on Paimon?
Oh, Paimon.
The fairy girl? Nedrick says there's too much Riz going on. Listen, I'm telling you what. Dyad in the Force is going to be the first to solve Einstein's theory of resistivity. You go stop it.
I see what you did there.
Farina? I don't know Farina. Do I? Also, like, the entirety of Genshin Impact is Crush Land. Like, it's Jean. Who was Barbara? No. Who's the lightning wizard?
I can't remember. I didn't play as much as you guys did.
I can barely remember right now. Lorna D is pretty unconventional, yes, but still a humanoid. Or am I the only one that kind of like... Am I the only one? Does that make it unconventional?
Oh no, you're not the only one.
Choco is resistivity? I don't know about that. Choco be
Okay,
playing so
how about
many
this?
games. People be calling him the Rizzler on the roof. He's on the roof, like, literally.
Okay, all right.
Rizzle me this.
I know I'm not the only one. Nala.
Yeah, of course. From Lion King, right?
Yeah. So like you can't that has to be unconventional.
Yeah.
It's a lion. But when they're rolling around, she got them eyes. She gave you that look.
Doesn't Lorna have file teeth? I don't know if I could live with that. Bro, are you serious? That's an experience. You gotta try it at least once in your life. Most men Twi'lek do as well. It's cultural. Huh?
They file their teeth. Yeah.
Oh, most men. Okay. Yeah. I'd rather not lose my junk, if you know what I mean. Listen, it's all about trust.
Jesus.
Like, literally, though, like, not supposed to use their teeth.
Yeah, that's...
If they are, send help. Immediately. Space them. You crush on Venti? Oh, okay. That's the green.
Dyad in the sheets.
Yeah. Listen, this is community driven. This is question driven. So whatever happens, man.
Daxton says Gadget from Rescue Rangers.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't remember. Like, that was the girl squirrel, right?
No, wait.
Squirrel? Chipmunk.
Yeah.
What happened to the Star Wars podcast, man? I don't know.
Sorry, no jokes.
Sometimes it just do what it do, you know? It goes off the deep end. And then we land straight back onto Camino with more deep ends. This is an ocean planet, guys. We're forever drowning.
But it was a desert planet before we got there.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, wait, never mind.
I was like, if you're extra gross, yes.
Who cares? You guys opened my mind, so. You crush on Savathun? Bro, I'd hit that.
How? Be safe.
I have hit that with my arc staff. Plenty of times.
Although, I gotta say, for a purely voice thing, Riven's gotta,
And of course, we're not gonna gloss over Queen Mara.
Absolutely. But, I mean, she's more conventional than the
Of course.
weird wish-granting dragon monster.
But Tosai says, hey guys, good to see you. Good to see you too, Manslayer. I really do hope we get some Canon Gree.
All right, Jimmy, have a good one.
It goes into a rabbit hole and then digs out. That's essentially what the show is. We need guests to keep us on rails.
Well, it also depends on what's going on in the news and in the community in general. I haven't been as active. So when stuff was popping off, there was a lot of hate being thrown at, our women who love Star Wars. So I made a post about it. I was like, you know what? I want to make like a compilation video from some of you guys sharing how much you love. And like a bunch of people said they wanted to do it. I didn't think it was that many would actually send a video. And so, you never know. And now I have like 35 videos.
Jeez. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people, man.
but it should be pretty cool when I put it all together, and I'll make 2 versions. Actually, I think there's going to end up being 3 versions, but there's a lot.
Where's my dang old Acolyte trailer? It's coming, for sure. It's going to drop February 27th. I really want to be right about that. Out of the frying pan comes hot babe Darth Choco. Hey, oiled up and everything. Just basted to be ready for consumption. I have no idea why I did that. Thanks for letting me be a part of that, Choco. I'm sorry for my shitty editing and rambling on that.
Choco, you keep sinking. So what's going on is my camera literally on its mount, like, I don't know if my cat was behind there, but it was slightly pointing off, so I tried to straighten it out, but it appears to be slowly moving as the podcast progressed.
Do you remember when I had a mount and it would go like this? Slowly throughout the day, I'm like, oh
man.
And it would just like sad, it would sad. Oh.
I know you're trying to say sag, but it works better.
I know. Oiled up in giant bug secretion of youth. You guys are worse than us sometimes.
Let's see.
So we got Bad Batch coming out February 21st. We've got the Acolyte trailer February 27th. We have Choco in the corner. Oh my gosh. Now you just ported. How does that even work? And then after that, we should get a Skeleton Crew trailer April 16th. And so listen, I'm trying my hand at this Mike Zero thing. All right, so Bad Batch, February 21st. That's already confirmed. Acolyte
No,
trailer.
but if you're doing Mike Zero, you have to hate it. So
we're also going to get an Acolyte trailer February 27th. So that's like the second episode of the Bad Batch, purely because Lucasfilm is drowning in chaos. They are feuding heavily right now between Dave Filoni and Marcus Aurelius, who is their new hire. That they're trying to fight for the position of the chief creative officer because carrots don't really taste good unless you cook them. So we're going to get a trailer for the Acolytes, and then April 16th we're going to get Skeleton Crew because Kathleen Kennedy doesn't really like May. So she's trying to insert her personal politics into Star Wars by avoiding May and releasing a trailer on April, and then 16th because the Force is female. So it's on the 16th because the Force is female, and the next trailer for Andor, it's being pushed back to the 2025 because they're sexist. So, you know, we have a whole bunch of woke coming, and that's because, you know, sticks are easy to break. And I can't really say anything other than that.
yeah, that was a lot better. All right, here's my best Mike Zero. Everything is canceled because Kathleen Kennedy was fired. So no trailers. Wait, only trailers.
That switch up. Jesus.
Yeah. No. Realistically, there's they have a habit of not showing us in the trailers until like 3 months out at the most, and oftentimes sooner than that. So
we're not going to get an Acolyte trailer until Kathleen Kennedy is fired. They just keep fighting with each other, man. There's no unity in Lucasfilm.
My favorite of the new things is like saying that things were canceled or whatever. She-Hulk season 2 was canceled, and you're like, they didn't greenlight it. What are you talking about? It was never a thing. You can't cancel. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's kind of like there wasn't a plan for the sequels, because the evidence for that is because Adam Driver said that the plans changed for his character arc, and so plans can change when there's no plan. I'm just saying.
It's so dumb. It's so the plan changed. Oh, so you didn't have a plan? That's what? No, I just said the chat. Well, because even though that was recent, but even with what Daisy Ridley said, she was like, in the beginning, like, there was a plan that was this, and then later we changed it to that. And they're like, see, there is no plan, and you're like, that's not what she said. That's the opposite of what she said. Yeah.
I got a comment on one of my recent videos. I think it was the one about Rey's purpose, and someone said, you're trying really hard to reach for coherent. You're trying really hard. I'm just gonna read it. Man, I don't want to comb through this shit.
I should probably be saying something here.
I mean, you don't have to. We can fill the silence with silence.
No, it's just wild. I mean, eventually Kathleen Kennedy is going to die of old age, and then they're going to say she was fired. Kathleen Kennedy got fired because she stopped showing up for work, and you're like, no, she died of old age.
Okay, so it says, what's really good is that Disney has people like you to take their random disjointed films and force logic and meaning into them. Not knocking you at all, it's a great description, but Disney didn't care about or think about the prophecy or the other films when making the sequels. And I said, you're free to think that, but they were thinking about that stuff. I have meeting notes from my IPDG of them talking about the specific things that I was outlining in the description of Rey's purpose. And he was like, yeah, but what about the actor's feelings? Or what about what the actor said during like the press junkets? And I was like, yeah, I mean, true. They're all going to have different experiences with the filming process. Some actors are given fake scripts. Some actors are given, dupes to, combat leaks and spoilers. Famously Mark Hamill, George Lucas, and James Earl Jones. Only 3 of them knew about the twist in Empire Strikes Back. So what the actors experience is what the producers choose to tell them. But we have meetings back before The Force Awakens talking about all of this stuff that reaffirms what I had originally thought about the Dyad and Rey's purpose. But like, they have meeting notes back in 2014 talking about how they were going to use Rey in this way. She's going to be the Skywalker, and they're going to use Leia this way. And so all of this is all planned. It's not disjointed. And there was a singular vision from the development group. The problem is the execution, right? And so we've all done this before. When we were in school, we had a group project. We had this plan. We had an amazing kind of like prognosis, and each individual in your group, there was something that fell between the cracks, and things changed, and the execution didn't happen. Right, and that's largely my problem with the sequels, is execution of certain narratives, but it's not disjointed. It's very cohesive if you are consuming the narrative in the story. Actually, more cohesive than the other trilogies.
Yeah, yeah. I had someone in my chat adamant, arguing, fighting for his life because there was no plan, and that's why the Duel of the Fates script was so different and didn't include Palpatine. And then I was like, but Kathleen Kennedy explained why, like, a script that they didn't use isn't proof of anything. First of all, because they didn't use it. And she specifically said, he wasn't part of their early meetings, and so he went in a different direction than what they wanted. And so that's why they didn't use it. That's like,
they had a
what
vision.
what more do you need? Like, that is proof, and it lines up exactly with what we know about the IP development group, right? That he actually wasn't part of that group. And so if he hadn't been part of these conversations that have been going on, like, he may not have seen the whole picture. And by the time he finished, didn't have enough time to do another script, so they went with someone else. That's me spitballing, but as far as the facts all line up.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Reverse Amidala as the main thing in the sequels? Thinking on the healing of the Skywalker tragedy. Is it a must for you judged? Is it a must for you judged by the history mythology of the previous 6?
The Reverse Amidala. I don't know to what this refers.
I think this refers to Ben finishing what Anakin started, and being able to heal someone he loved, basically.
Well, not heal, but bring to life.
Yeah,
because to be clear, he didn't heal Rey. She died.
So I mean, yeah, it is kind of like a reverse, but as I've said in my very, very early on videos, especially the one where I kind of edited Anakin in as sort of like a joke, was that he literally did finish what he started. Finish what I started.
But I absolutely love the concept of bringing someone to life or maintaining life is transferring your own, meaning it's not something that the Sith could ever accomplish. You know what I mean?
Everything about immortality the Sith can't accomplish. Well, not immortality, but like kind of like extending life, and
it requires giving to a whole and considering something greater than yourself.
Yeah, that's why I got kind of like confused by another comment that was like, I was confused about the Sith spirits that didn't help Palpatine. I was like, well, number one, they were alchemists. They were literally like cultists that, performed all of his stuff. But if we're talking about Sith spirits, in no way they're helping each other out.
No, but like also
but they don't have spirits to begin with.
Yeah, I was like, that was my comment to him. It's like, what spirit? And
it's
with
like,
that
I
gentleman,
am all the Sith, and Bane over on like Korriban is like, what? I'm over here,
please. Yeah. Although, I mean, the Sith do have spirits in the sense that I fully believe that they probably make some tasty booze. You can't live inside of the Sith aesthetic without sipping on some, like, I don't know, satanic brandy or something.
The Devil's Reserve. Isn't that the big plot point of the second half of Rebels? Palpatine trying to get access to the world between worlds, but failed in the end. Yeah, because it's a realm not really accessible at all from the darkness. I think that's why he had to tether to Ezra. I mean, he had a door right there. He knew, like, oh, this is the world between worlds. Could he walk through it? No, he could only use the Force to see if he could grab Ezra. But, like, if the Sith and the dark side could naturally access it, Palpatine could just find a gateway and walk right in, but he can't. That's what I love about the lore of the Force, is that, like, in the end, everything that the Sith crave is everything that they've given up to become, you know? They want eternal life, they want power, but they've given up individuality, they've given up their light, and thus cannot achieve their power.
Yeah. I mean, the more into Star Wars you look, the more it tells you to become Buddhist.
Yeah. All right, so we're running out of time on this episode of Dyad in the Force. About 2 minutes left in the show. I want to thank everyone in the YouTube side and the TikTok side for hanging out with us on this community-driven episode of Dyad in the Force. Everyone in the chat: Batosai, Bull Run Young, Christopher Boykin, let's see, Logan Singleton, everybody on TikTok. It's always fun to do these things where the conversation is largely driven by you guys, and the topics,
it's like jazz.
Yeah, the topics are decided by you guys, and sometimes we reach conversations and rabbit holes that we did not think possible, like unconventional crushes and thinking about other things. We even broached politics, which is something that we never really do on Dyad, but it is something that we can, provide commentary on at the, in the most minimum sense. But Choco.
Now, that's a terrible joke. Never mind.
But I was going to kick it off to Choco anyway, if you have any final thoughts, if you have any final things you want to talk about or address, or just say to the community.
Sorry, so you were talking about unconventional crushes, and then we talked about rabbit holes, and then Lola Bunny came up. It's a whole...
Oh,
anyways,
my gosh.
We appreciate the community, and yeah, we just have fun, and it's joyous. I'm always smiling and genuinely when interacting with all y'all, and so I can't wait to do it more. I've been doing it for years, and I enjoy it every time. So thank you guys.
Which is something that I always kind of guffaw at, thinking about how long it's been. Starting in 2019, almost 5 years we've been doing this. And we've had a 100 episode anniversary. We've had a 2-year anniversary. I don't think we've broached the 3 or 4 year on Dyad, but it's time to start thinking about episode 200 and what we might do for that. But we are, as a community, also looking forward to our first time getting together in May for Dyad Con, with the subtitle, The Con That's Not a Con, because it's not. There is nothing really. We're all just getting together, and we're looking forward to possibly growing things in the future. So we'll see. Stick around and stay tuned. And we hope you guys enjoy us and everyone in the community each week on Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Look forward to Choco's return to the podcast world. What was the new name for that?
I There's a few floating around. The garbage will do. Might be one of them. Sebulba feet pics is what I mentioned earlier.
Sebulba feet pics. And it looks like we have to we'll have to vamp until this comes through, but thank you, Nedrex, for that $2 ramen drop. I didn't realize how fun it would be to talk to like this backdrop of music. This is literally like a D&D podcast like backdrop.
It's whimsical. It makes you want to kind of get up and do a little jig, you know?
Throw a coin to your Star Wars creator. Is it gonna come through? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's not coming.
All right. Well, thank you, Nedrex, for that ramen drop. I smell profit. I'll do it myself. But
I smell profit.
Nedrex super shattered a $1.32 ramen drop. One thing to take away: everyone got a wear crush.
yeah. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for super chatting, and thank you so much for being an awesome community and hanging out with us for today's episode. But that is the end. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life.
We are all the Dyad.
And may the Force be with you always.